Doing it back here for my new October Horror Watches video, just talking about all the movies that I watched this past week. Now, I actually did not get to watch as many movies as I was hoping to. I've actually only watched three movies plus Halloween 2018, which I just posted my thoughts on that. If you guys want to know my thoughts on the movie, just check out my last couple of videos. But I do plan on watching one movie tonight. So, five movies isn't bad, but, like I said in my previous videos, working, 10 hours a day gives you a lot less time for movies. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about the movies that I was able to watch over this past week. Now, the first movie I'm going to talk about is a movie that I actually talked about in my last video, and I said that I hadn't seen it yet, and I was going to share my thoughts on it after seeing it for the first time in this video, and that film is Night of the Demons. Now, I really, really enjoyed this one. It takes place on Halloween at a Halloween party, and it's just really, really fun. I'm not gonna, go into a whole lot of detail about the plot of it. If you guys want to know about that, of course, there's other reviews. I'm not doing these videos to review the films. I'm just talking about my own thoughts. But I really, really enjoyed it. I thought that the effects of the demons were really, really well done. Lots of good gore. There's also a lot of great one-liners in this movie. Like there's one character named Scrooge, or not Scrooge, Stooge. Excuse me, Stooge, who's actually right here. He's this kind of chubby guy, and this he wears this pig nose, and he's kind of this obnoxious, drunk, guy who wants to go get drunk and party and stuff. And some of the lines that he says in the movie are just really funny. Like there's one scene where they're all thinking about leaving the house that the party is taking place in because they're worried that there might be something in the house. They believe that they may have conjured up some demons, and there's a scene where one of the girls is like, "I think we should leave," and he just goes, "Eat a bowl of fuck. I'm here to party." I thought that was hilarious. I remember reading a Revolver magazine where they talked about this movie, and that line was in it, and I was like, that's one of the funniest lines uh, I've heard in a horror movie. But yeah, this movie is really, really fun. A lot of great effects in it, and it also has Leanna Quigley's in it as well, and she has a pretty good sized role in it, and yeah, she gets transformed into a demon later on. So yeah, really fun movie, really great Halloween watch. Now, the next movie I watched is actually a movie that gets a lot of hate. It's in the Halloween franchise, and I think this one, as well as Five and Resurrection, are probably the three movies that so many people talk about hating, but I actually really enjoyed this one, Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. As I said previously, I'm watching all the Halloween movies in reverse, so, I started off with Resurrection, and I'm now down to The Curse of Michael Myers. And this has actually always been one of my favorite movies in the franchise. I'm not a huge fan of the Thorn storyline. I never have been, which is why I prefer the theatrical version over the producer's cut. And that's all. And also, I actually probably won't be watching the producer's cut because I just don't have a whole lot of time now to watch it. And I want to go ahead and watch the rest of them, and I just don't have enough time. But overall, I really do enjoy this. It does have a lot of flaws. Even watching it now, I still look at things and think, so that was kind of like Paul Rudd's performance, I think, is good, but he could have done it a whole lot better. I'm sure it probably has something to do with the fact that he just filmed another version of the movie, the producer's cut, and I'm sure once he's filming this, he's kind of over it. There are some moments where he's just sort of, you can see him sort of smiling in some scenes, and you can kind of tell that he thinks it's not going to be a good movie. You can kind of tell that he doesn't think the movie's going to turn out good, and I don't think well, actually, he seems now like he's pretty much tried to disown this movie. He's not. I'm sure he's not proud of it. He probably thinks it's really bad. Because I remember they actually were trying to do a reunion of the entire cast, and he was originally scheduled to appear when they first announced it, and literally like a day later, his name got taken off. So I'm sure he declined to appear at this reunion. I'm not really sure why they would announce that he would be involved in a reunion, and then before he, unless he was scheduled to be there and decided not to, it depends, but I'm pretty sure that I feel like he feels ashamed of it because overall he's done a lot of better films. a lot more comedies, which I think is, he's a lot better doing comedies. And of course he's done a lot of bigger, like Ant-Man, he's done a lot of more successful movies. But, I mean, The Curse of Michael Myers it's got a cult following, and I think that, even if, there's a lot of actors who have gotten their start in horror movies, Kevin Bacon is one, Johnny Depp, and I feel like that, I kind of feel like that even if I was a big actor and if the first movie I was ever in was a horror movie and if I was attached to a franchise like Halloween, I would be proud of it regardless of whether or not the movie was actually great or not. I mean, personally, I really enjoy The Curse of Michael Myers, but I know that it's one of the most hated movies in the franchise for a lot of people, but I know a lot of people love it as well. But I mean, there are some moments where you can tell that, especially the scene when he's trying to give away Jamie's baby at the end of the movie to Michael, to trick him. He's kind of laughing a little bit, and you can kind of, it kind of seems like, you could say that he's just nervous, to be giving the baby over to Michael, but at the same time, I kind of feel like he's doing that because he thinks it's dumb that he's doing that in the movie. But like I said, if I was an actor, regardless of whether or not, if I was part of a horror franchise, regardless of whether or not the movie was good or not, I would still be proud of it. Now, the next movie I watched is I actually watched it this morning, and this is a 3D animated movie called Night of the Headless Horseman. I have the VHS right here, and I watch this every year because it's not a great movie, but it has a really great October feeling. It's basically just a retelling of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, except it's done in a more graphic way. Like, there's actually scenes of people dying, and you see blood and stuff like that. And I always kind of wondered what audience this movie was made for, because I wouldn't recommend kids to watch it because it's, like I said, there's blood in it, and there's stuff that could actually that could probably scare young kids. But I don't really see any adults really enjoying it. I mean, I enjoy it for what it is, but I don't see a lot of adults going out of their way to watch it. But I've always enjoyed it. It's got William H. Macy is in it, and he's playing he's doing the voice of Ichabod, and I've always enjoyed the version of it. It's just kind of a cool, I mean, I remember seeing The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, the original animated film in school, and so when I saw this like after I saw Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci, and I was sort of on a Headless Horseman kick, I guess you could say. Like, I was really into, like, seeing all the Sleepy Hollow related movies and stuff like that, and this was one of them, and I've always enjoyed it. It's not a movie I would recommend checking out, but, I mean, if you find it for a cheap price, I would recommend, I mean, I wouldn't really recommend it, but it's worth a watch. And like I said, it's got a great Halloween feeling because it takes place in October leading up to Halloween. There's a lot of, leaves all over the ground, and it takes place in a small town, a small farmer's town, Sleepy Hollow. So, it's fun. It's fun. And now the last movie I'm going to talk about is a movie I'm actually watching tonight, and this is a movie that I watch every year. And I actually saw this movie before I saw the original film, and that is The Haunting. This is the new, well, not new, but this is the DVD with the new cover. Not a fan of the new cover. I prefer the older cover, which there's actually a image of it right here. I do have the VHS of it that has the older cover, and I remember the old VHS cover of it, the original poster artwork. I remember my aunt had a copy of the movie, and it really, really creeped me out. The image of the house with the two glowing eyes on the front, that really, really creeped me out when I was a kid. The old original poster VHS cover of it. I've always enjoyed this movie. It's got Liam Neeson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Owen Wilson, and Lily Taylor. And I really think it's just a fun supernatural movie. It was directed by Joan de Bont, who also, Joan de Bont, sorry. I always have a trouble pronouncing her name. Not John. But she also directed Twister, which is one of my favorite movies. And this is kind of like Twister, but in a haunted house, and kind of story, a supernatural story. It's really heavy on special effects. And some of the special effects, some of them look good, some of them don't look so great. One scene that's always stuck out is when the bed comes down over Lily Taylor, there's a picture of it right there, like a claw over her. I always thought that was one of the coolest scenes in the movie. But But you know, it's a fun movie. It's not a great movie, but I've always enjoyed it, and I watch it every year, and I do plan on popping it in and watching it tonight. But anyway, guys, that is my new October Horror Watches video. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think about any of the movies that I talked about in this one, if you guys have seen them. I am still, going through the Halloween franchise. I plan on watching Halloween 5 this coming up week. And then I also plan on, of course, watching a lot of horror movies that I watch every year during the next weekend, which is the weekend before Halloween. I was hoping to watch other movies that I'd never seen before this year, but unfortunately it just didn't turn out. I was able to watch Night of Demons, which I was glad, because I heard that was a great movie, and I'm glad I was able to watch a new horror movie that I'd never seen before. And I was hoping to see a lot of other new horror films this October, but like I said, I've been working 10-hour days, and it's just not. I just don't have a whole lot of time to watch movies, and once I get home from work, I'm tired, and I just don't really feel like, if I'm gonna watch a movie after I get off work, it's gonna be a movie that I have seen, so I don't have to pay as much attention to it because I've already seen it. When I watch a new movie, I want to pay as much attention to it as I can and be able to take it all in for what it is. So. But anyway, guys, that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, let me know what you guys think about all the movies I talked about in this video. And if you haven't seen my new 2 videos talking about my thoughts on a new Halloween film, they are on my channel, so be sure to go check them out. I really did enjoy the movie, but I also know it had flaws. But if you guys want to hear about it, check out those 2 videos. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.